So give me, yeah, on the left top. On the left top, only Soul Arcana is awaiting us. I don't like that here. This is a crap pack, guys. Wow. Wow, is that a crap pack? Poor. Poor. Why do you hate me so much, game? Boy, is that bad. Okay. Let's take a look at the chat. I need to recover from my shock. Maybe we still continue the AMA a little bit. Boah. Okay. He meant that I have a high winner. Oh, because of the stream you have 89%. Oh, thank you. Okay. That's great. Okay. I misunderstood. Yeah, Solar Hipfire. Yeah. Auto pick. Yeah, we will pick Zola, but not because she's auto pick, because of double juke. Yeah. Because of double juke. No, that's the pick, but boah. Ey, Mann. Braces. Sacrifice. These are like the Hercules gloves from God of War 3. 6 damage. Dementium claws, or what were they called? Yeah, we already have chip damage, it's never grazing shot. And the Stonewall Cloak? Or double Satyr. And we do have the Braces of Sacrifice filling 1 item slot. We will probably receive 2 more items. Keep also in mind that Helm of the Dominator is a pick because we are also black, right? So as such, we could also just pick these 2. It's very close because Stonewall Cloak is obviously a good item. So, but the Stonewall Cloak doesn't come above nothing, but the Stonewall Cloak. Okay, so now the Bracers we want probably to play, which means if. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than the leather armor. And if you also pick the cloak, replacing. The question is whether we will receive 2 more items. And because we might also play the Helm of the Dominator, it's not unlikely that we will receive 2 items. But the stone, I mean, it's very. I mean, we are not even written in green, right? So maybe we take the neutral pick. It should be probably better if you take the neutral pick. But no, Shield of Aquila. Because we don't know whether we will be in green. It's just a very, very close call. Seriously. Okay, now we are definitely in green. No. I mean, this is nonsense with the Mist of Awareness and with green synergy, so we will never play black, green, and grazing shot. Ursa? Nah. We could consider the Hellberg Crippler. I mean... But if you play the Hellberg Crippler, we will be triple color anyways. So what I'm saying is if we're gonna play red, we are triple color anyways, and then we will probably also always cut the Crippler. So I don't see... This is worse than the Oglodi, by the way. So we are black-green, somewhat. Black-green. Black green would be this. Maybe we might splash blue. Then Dimensional Portal is inherently better than Steel Strength. This blue is like, oh. And suddenly there are so many cards we would like to pick. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's never this. It's one or two of these three, right? And it's, I mean, the Steam Can fits our deck very nicely. The reason for that is, at the moment, we don't have any kind of 7-drop. So we are lacking late game. That's a plus for the Steam Can. The Steam Can is generally a good card. That's a plus for the Steam Can. And we don't have a single 7 mana drop yet, which is a plus for the Steam Can. Minus would be that it's not directly synergizing with neither the Assault Elders nor the Avernus. We are staring down at the Oath. The Oath, I was talking about that quite a lot. So I believe with 1 hero it's unplayable. With 2 black heroes it's actually decent, like good. But it gives you a lot of strength if you play triple black hero. Because then you can alternate 2 black heroes in the Oath lane. And you play 1 additional hero who plays the other stuff in the other lanes, right? And we have the Disciple of Nevermore. The Disciple of Nevermore is just a fine card. You can push a lot of damage with him. I mean, that being said, honestly, I feel that the Disciple of Nevermore might really be not adding insanely amount to the deck. The reason for that is that usually the biggest value from Disciple comes if he abandons a lane, right? So he abandons a lane because he says, okay, that lane is done. And then you suddenly can play a Disciple of Nevermore, inflicting 14 damage per turn, inflicting 16 damage per turn. And that is where he shines. So he's absolutely okay in the early game. But in the late game, he can also create tremendous amounts of value. By just bringing suddenly on the lane, he already forfeited 14, 16, 18. But here's the thing. Because we will definitely play Solar, not because she's OP or something, she's just good. But we will play her because we will definitely play her over the base hero. And she brings triple Assault Ladders. And Assault Ladders are basically reading the same. They basically read your opponent cannot forfeit a lane because then you push a lot of damage on that lane. But they know, because they know that we play Solar. So they know that we do have Assault Ladders in our deck. And as such, that doesn't really hit him with a surprise. And that the same goes with the Disciple. So we won't be able to surprise him in that way. What we could do if he wouldn't play Solar and he wouldn't expect that. So what is it then? Well, I feel as having Solar already as loadout, it might be not unlikely that we will end up with double black heroes, and as such, I like the Oath. And I think we should also pick the Steam Can here. It's also kind of I mean, rare means, I mean, this is common, so we see that very often, and those are rare, which means we also spice up the stream a little bit by playing those. You're kidding me now, right? Wow. I mean, I can already tell you that it's never the Helm of the Dominator, because our item deck is already kind of filled. We do have the Stonewall Cloak, which is obviously much better than this. The Braces are probably on the same power level as is the Shield of Aquila, because they are just inherently less expensive. And I also don't see a single kind of gold creation mechanic yet. We are already at the end of pack 2, so we will have 3 packs to create gold creation mechanics. So if it's not exactly Bounty Hunter, the Helm of the Dominator is definitely the worst pick in this very pack. We have the options to pick Satyr, Arm the Rebellion, Soothsayer. I think Arm the Rebellion should always be. We also want to play at least 1 green hero because of the Mist of Avernus. And other than that, well, we can compare these two. And I think in a vacuum, the Troll Soothsayer is just better than the Satyr. But like always, we need to ask ourselves whether we really want to go blue at all. Ja, schau, machst du. The lost in time is not a reason to justify blue, because the lost in time is a nice to have, but it would never be something which I would consider a very strong card. I mean, it's a good card as a one-off if you are already blue. But given that we are also having a lot of creep synergetic mechanics, meaning Assault Letters, Oath, Mist of Awareness, Green Heroes, and so on, Arm the Rebellion, and we will probably also receive more creep synergetic mechanics, that lets the Lost in Time or all non-creeps lose a lot of synergy. So the only reason to splash blue or to play blue would be, in this very moment would really only be the dimensional portal, which is definitely which might be reason enough, because we do have Mist of Awareness and we do have also other creep synergetic mechanics. But what I'm simply saying, this we won't always play, this we will always play. So let's pick it in that way. Whatever, I guess. Yeah, the Viper is exactly what we needed. Yeah. Lycan is exactly what we needed, though. So I'm very happy about Lycan. Lycan, we like him. We really like him. Clear the deck. No. Yeah, Untested Grind is a filler we could, but I think Slay, despite us having so much creep synergetic mechanics, I think Slay should still be prioritized over Untested Grunt, because it's more versatile. And there is a Salamanders Favor, yeah? So what is to be said about the Favor? Would we play that? Nah, our deck is not very expensive. At the moment, we would never play that, so we can probably do it in this way. Really happy that we received Lycan. That's great. And yeah, Twilight State is nuts. One of the strongest. It's one of my most favorite cards in black. Definitely my most favorite uncommon for black. Yeah, we are not really in red. Usually, I mean, they are doing exactly the same, with the only difference that this guy is 2 mana cheaper. They are pretty much doing nearly exactly the same. They're very small differences. So but yeah, we are not red, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Nah, not the Wingfall Hammer, guys. Not the Wingfall Hammer. Oh, Glody in the 5th pack. What? Wow. Okay. I mean, I think we can probably make more use of the Payday than of the unsupervised. At the moment, we don't have anything for the Payday. But what I'm saying is, if another Helm of the Shominator should stop by and say hello, then we might be much more inclined. I mean, then this is obviously so much better than the unsupervised artillery is. Unsupervised artillery, I don't even know whether we want to play that. It's not even... What I'm simply saying, we will probably end up not playing this nor this. But while... if we need to put something... I mean, this can still be played with the Oath, but yeah, I doubt very much that we will play the... we will probably end up not playing this nor this, but if you receive a Helm of the Dominator, we will end up playing the Payday. So I think it's okay. It's also that we could then justify, for example, Cloak and Shield. If we save 1-time gold and we Payday, we can buy the Cloak or the Shield. It's not great, but it's an additional strategical option we might want to opt in. Okay. Yeah, these are all rubbish. The Satyr is possible, but yeah, I mean, even with this double zombie, I don't know already. So it doesn't feel that we are deep enough in blue to justify something like this. I mean, best result would be probably if we could really justify playing green-black and then putting 3 black heroes, 2 green heroes, and then getting max value from the Oath. Maybe we are getting 1 or more Oath. That would be cool. Chen. Dimensional Portal. Man. So do we have a late game hero yet? No, we don't. So that actually means Shen would fit perfectly into our deck. Like, that's a super perfect fit for our deck. What I'm saying is, not only is Shen an acceptable good green hero, but he also wants to become deployed. We saw that in our 5-0 draft this morning. He wants to become picked and come into the game as 5th. Now, what are we lacking in our deck? Yes! A 5th hero. A hero we want to deploy on 5, right? So that would be perfect. So what's not perfect? Well, what is not perfect is that we only do have 3, 5, 6 playable green cards at the moment. With 6 playable green cards, you might usually only want to end up splashing green, kind of. I'm pretty certain, because green does have a lot of good cards, that we will probably pick some more green cards though. But keep in mind that if you pick Chen now and there will be a Trend Protector in the 3rd pack, which is very unlikely, but if, we will have a problem with our decision. But because, I mean, if Chen would be the 1st pick in this pack, I wouldn't pick him because I would hope that we might receive another good hero. But being the 2nd pick already, that depletes a lot the chance to receive another strong hero. So even, I mean, if we would try to look for something like Tinker, Lich, all those things, like some very good hero, well, if this would be the 1st pick, we don't pick him. Maybe somebody is completely color screwed or doesn't want to pick that very strong hero. Maybe he doesn't know that he's a very strong hero, and we might still get this super strong hero passed on pick 2, like into pick 2. But that we receive a super strong hero in pick 3, it's really going downhill, this chance. So I would pick Chen here out of the reasons just mentioned. If you do pick Chen, can we also justify a Rose Leaf Rejuvenator? And the answer is probably no, unless. Well, unless what? Chen comes with a signature card. And the signature card is Hand of God. So that basically means we already play 3, 7 mana drops if we're gonna play Chen. So what does that mean? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you draw 15 cards, maybe you draw a card in a different way, so you draw 16 cards. That's 40% of your deck. So if you would play 4 cards on the 7 mana slot, that would mean that you would end up with 1.6 in average. So usually you have 2 green cards in the 7 mana slot, and you might not be able to play both of them. Yeah. So that's a problem. We could also put the Dimensional Portal, but again, that would also mean that we are required to deviate or to put a blue hero. What I'm saying is, we pick Chen, we are double green hero, and we will also only play double green hero. And then the question would be whether we want to play black, black, black. And most likely we would like to do that. So basically adding 2 times Debbie, the black base hero. And we do have the choice to instead play not the 3rd black base hero, but instead put a blue base hero in. Whereas the blue base hero is quite worse than Debbie. It would also give us the option to play 2-dimensional portals, which might make up for this lack in strength. But keep also in mind that if you do such a thing, we also weaken our general deck quality by playing triple color and also weakening cards like Oath tremendously. So if possible, I would like to avoid that. And for that, I would like to count the cards we do have in black and green, and then even picking something like this. Because I think now shifting into blue or additionally putting blue in probably won't happen. Putting aside that it also always tilts me if we play blue. Okay, so let's count. Well, this is not really, but whatever. 2, 4, these are also not really, but whatever. 6, 7, 8, not really. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I guess we would not need to play complete rubbish card if we go down green-black. So I would just try to enforce playing green-black if possible. And obviously this might undermine our decision. Not undermine our decision. This might support our decision. Yeah. Ui. Okay. So this is sick. So we should definitely play the Ugludi, because the Ugludi is just a very powerful card for black. And we will end up playing some black heroes, so that makes the Ugludi even more powerful. We already got have to, but that doesn't matter. Ugludi is insane. So we look down at the Rebel Decoy. The Rebel Decoy is an okay card. specifically next to the Lycan, because then he receives the additional attack buff, and we will go Lycan first. And at the moment we only have one card, we definitely want to play with Lycan. Which means if you pick the Rebel Decoy, we will have 2-3 mana deploys, but that's perfectly fine, because if you're gonna go ahead with double 3 mana deploy, chances that we will draw both of them is extremely unlikely. Unlikely. So, but we might receive another early drop, but that's definitely a consideration. The Rebel Decoy would be very nice, would fit very nicely in our deck. Now, we are also staring down a Helm of the Dominator and the Stonehold Cloak. The Helm of the Dominator, double payday alone doesn't justify the Helm of the Dominator. We will usually at some point draw 1 payday, but maybe we can also not really save up the gold. You can also already see our item deck also having other expensive items, so even if you end up being able to payday, we might not be able to payday into the Helm of the Dominator necessarily, and we also don't have that many gold creation mechanics after all. But the Stonehold Cloak might be fine, because at the moment, I mean, the Cloak of Endless Carnage is really very debatable. And the Braces of Sacrifice and the Shield of Aquila, I mean, they are okay-ish, but they are definitely not more than that. Would even probably prioritize Braces over Shield of Aquila. And if you would do such a thing, we could definitely justify just playing a second Stonehold Cloak. I'm also a big favorite of in favor of the Cloak, because we will probably, if we don't receive another hero, we will end up playing 2 times the base black hero. And the base black hero is Debbie, and Debbie has very low health total. And because she has such a low health total, she's extremely happy if you can cloak her. Yeah, the cloak increases the base health by a lot, and Debbie also does have this threshold, or that she has so low health that you cannot even healing salve her. You cannot even heal her in a nice way. So what I'm saying is, you know, that the potential heals of the game are full heal or 6 heal. And it is a problem if you cannot heal your heroes for 6. But Debbie, if you give her a normal cloak, she will go to 9. You will probably need to healing salve her even if she is on 5 or something, which means you don't even get that value out of that. On the other end, if you cloak Debbie, yeah, needless to be said. And I think we don't have enough support for the Helm of the Dominator, because in the deck, because we have a lot of creep synergy, I would even try to cut the paydays. So if you don't receive, if you receive enough different cards to be able to be played, I would try to cut the paydays out if possible. I think this is not enough reason to justify. Yeah, that is really whatever. We can pick, yeah, we won't play any of those. Nor will we play any of those. And nor will we play any of those. Luna. Cool. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, Shield of Aquila goes out for sure. Yeah. So, I guess we continue with our game plan. Rebel Decoy in our deck definitely stronger than Intimidation, because for one thing, it's a minion. Second thing, it's a second early drop. That's very important. Third thing is we can put it next to Lycan and push damage a lot. There is one, yeah, then we can pick either the Intimidation. It's nice as a one-off. I'm not sure how much we really need that, because again, our deck is very creep synergetic, but we could pick that as a one-off. We do have Slay. I think a good card, definitely better than Intimidation, but we already do have double Slay. Oh, that was, by the way, also a reason not to pick the Helm of the Dominator, because our deck already has double Slay, which means if he plays really big minions, we can slay those. If we have a Slay in the hand at that moment. But if we do, the Helm of the Dominator obviously loses a lot of value, because, while if you wouldn't have had another handle to handle the big minion, that would be inherently bad. So then the Helm of the Dominator would also be much better. I mean, that's obvious, right? The most, let's say we would play 10 Slays, we don't need any kind of Helm of the Dominator, because we just kill the creeps. the strongest ones, always. There is a Blink Dagger though. And the Blink Dagger is nice. The Blink Dagger is nice. Specifically in a deck which is not that expensive, you will, with a Blink Dagger, be able to secure your ability to lane shift in the late game, and that is amazing. So if you have an expensive item deck, well, sometimes you need the Blink Dagger now and you don't get it. But if you get the Blink Dagger when you need it in the late game, it's very, very strong, because you can also forfeit buying Town Portal Scrolls, because you know you will inevitably get the Blink Dagger, get to buy your Blink Dagger. And with such a cheap item deck, so we would take out the bracers, put in the Blink Dagger, we could enforce such a thing. But we can only enforce that if we also will be able to have enough cards regardless. So let's count them again, now in a little bit more serious fashion. So let's count 2, but let's count them only as 1. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that would mean we need another 4 cards. If not, we would be forced to play Paydays, which is not the end of the world, which would mean we would be forced to play Oglodi, which is not the end of the world, but definitely nothing we would like to do. We would also need to play Hipfire. It's not the end of the world, but also definitely nothing we would like to do. And could instead play Slay then, but I guess the Blink Dagger is more important than that, so let's do that. Yeah, and we get rewarded because 4 Slays would be really weird. So 3 Slays is perfectly fine. We also this as a fill option. I definitely pay this over Payday in the current status of our build. The same goes for the second untested ground. We will never play the grazing shot with 2 Debbies. Might as well pick them all. Not that we will. Okay. Yeah, I already talked about the heavy metal disciple. So that's a disciple. He pushes the heavy metal, and all your minions will become aggressive, but obviously more sensitive to damage. Obviously, that makes you also a little bit, I mean, you're also more stressed once you listen to heavy metal. Hence, also the armor you will lose. The gank is actually very, very alright in our deck because, also with the Stoner Cloaks, that's also very important. I mean, the Stoner Cloaks were also very important on the Solar Khan, right? So now we do have double Stoner Cloak. Sometimes you might argue, but now you get trillions of life. What do you even do with those trillions of life? You cannot even utilize those. But wait, that was before we got the gang, and that we get the Disciple in the first pack. I mean, that's really, really, really convenient. Yeah, that's a little bit meh, but what can you do? And Zeus. No. Okay, the blue really wanted us to come, but I mean that we would go into blue, but we say no to that. Okay, 2 Stoneholds, 1 Blink Dagger, we put 3 swords, we put 3 cloaks. Leather armor, no. Wristful, not. The Magic King is definitely weaker than all of those. It goes the same goes for all the others. So we have a very, very neat item deck. 3 swords, 3 Traveler's Cloak, double Stonehold Cloak, 1 Blink Dagger. I wouldn't even know how it could be better. Yeah, 3 short swords, 3 cloaks, 2 Stonehold Cloaks in black for the weak black heroes with a weak black hero, which with a low health black hero. Pumping them up, double Stonehold Cloak, 1 Blink Dagger, very cheap item deck, and then with lane shifting. It's beautiful. And only 5 health items, not 6. Beautiful. Now, Chen definitely goes late, and Lycan definitely goes early. We will definitely put double black hero in, because, don't need to explain that. And now we can argue whether this or this is better in the early game. Now, Solarcam comes with 1 more health, and she also deals more damage in average. So obviously it's Solarcam first and not Debbie. And now we go to the cutting. So let's take a look at green first. So in green, if possible, we wouldn't like to cut that much, if at all, because we already have very little amount of green cards. So this is great, this is great, this is superb. I mean, this is insane. But this is, and also a reason alone to play 1 early green hero. That's great in our deck with Lycan. I mean, it's only normal, but it's a good card. That's great. Those are cool. Those are signature. This is cool. This can be very good. And I also think that the Roselift Rejuvenator, even being the 4/7 mana drop, might have justification. If we still want to cut cards after we took a look into black, we will consider cutting the Roselift Rejuvenator, but I think we already saw a lot of black cards we wouldn't like to play. So Grazing Shot is complete rubbish with Double Debbie because we already have trillions of chip damage. Collateral damage is obviously completely unplayable. The Hipfire in a deck which doesn't really benefit from initiative, I mean, despite the no accident, and also already having 6 chip damage cards, and also having crap loads of creep synergetic effects, doesn't find a place. Everything is creep synergetic. This 3 Assault Ladders in green, Arm the Rebellion, Hand of God, Mist of Avernus, every freaking thing. Disciple of Nevermore, Oath, every freaking single thing in our deck is creep synergetic. So we should definitely cut non-creeps. Is this a creep? Yes. Is this a creep? Yes. Yes. Signature? Yes. Signature? No. Also no, but probably better than Payday in our deck. No, but obviously creep synergetic and strong. Strong, creep, creep, creep. Creep. No creep, but strong. The Uglodi Catapults, that's the next question. I mean, they are obviously generally not that great. I believe that we have, I mean, usually it would always be Payday over Uglodi Catapults, 100% of the times. But we do have, I believe that we do have enough creep synergetic effects to justify that. But it's not only about that. But we also do have triple black hero. So we will have 2 early black heroes. And if I count the cards, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 18 cards, 19 cards which you can play early. So half of our deck. We draw 7 cards, we draw probably 3 of those. And we will only be able to play 2 of those. But some wants to be applied in a very specific way. So these might not suffer if we don't play them immediately, because you might also want to see where they go first. The same goes for the Disciple, and definitely goes for the No Accidents, and also the Slay. I mean, if you have the choice to either Slay or play some early drop, we will always opt in for the early drop, because the Slay can still be utilized for their late drop. Yeah, that these come in that way is also pretty clear and obvious, because Lycan usually doesn't become ganked in 1, and I don't think that we do have enough early green drops to justify doubling down on green on turn 4. Like Arm the Rebellion usually comes best mostly on mana 5, so that is also where he comes in, and we can already see where we need it. And otherwise it's 2 duelists, 3 of those and 1 of this. So we might sometimes double down on those, but it's also nice to get this into a lane where we might already want to play No Accident. And we can also talk about the stats. So this has 4-9 and this has 9-5, and 9-5 just being stronger than 4-9. So the only drawback is really if we draw 2 of those, that we cannot really play both of those. How bad is that? Well, it's bad, but it's not inherently completely disastrous. And if we take a look at Black 4, honestly, it could be close. It could be close at shifting these, because we do have, okay, we draw 9 cards until mana 4. And we do have, let's say, count this as 1. So we do have 7 cards in total. We draw 9 cards out of 40. So we draw 22% of our deck. We draw 7 cards. So we will have probably very often also 2 4-drops of green. So we might really consider putting Chen here. Oh, keep in mind that the Blink Dagger is specifically good because we also do have Chen. So if Chen is somewhere in the mid lane or in the left lane, he nearly cannot play any strong minion wheresoever, because then we will always have the ability to Blink Dagger Chen into the lane where the big creep stays, and then we just steal the very big creep. So I'm really uncertain about the deploy here, but I also have to tell you that the black heroes might receive a gank. So we will usually play not all our early drops from black, and if we don't and one becomes ganked in average, If we don't receive another one, that means next turn we will only be able to play, well, one of those, but not the second card we might want to play from the early game as well, which might be also problematic. And if both receive the gank, which can also happen, that would make us really unhappy if we would then come in with Chen. I also believe that it's better to have Chen versatility. So if we receive the Chen on 5, we also have kind of a better way to predict where we would like the Chen to have.